gone, man.
And if you hear the shouting, it's a group of demonstrators who've come. Oh, 9/11 was an inside job. Oh, get a life. Get a life. 9/11 was an inside job. But when we come back, we'll take you into the secret world of restroom gay sex. I think these demonstrators are all into restroom gay sex. And talk live back, everybody. We've been surrounded by an activist, radical, I don't know, communist group. I don't know who the hell they are. But let me go on to our planned program. First,
World Trade Center 7 collapsed because of fires fueled by office furnishings. It did not collapse from explosives or from fuel oil fires.
And what caught my eye is more than 1,300 architects and engineers examined the evidence about Building 7's collapse and disagree with the official report issued by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. I certainly am much more open-minded about it than I was, and it is because of the involvement of the 9/11 families and all these engineers and architects.
No matter what you do, 9/11 truth. No matter what you say, 9/11 truth. We'll never go. 9/11 truth. Never go away. We are 9/11 truth. Not until everybody knows the deal. Isn't that right, dear? We will be right here. We are 9/11 truth. This is not a gag or a spoof. There's undisputed facts, and baby, I got proof. 9/11 truth. Building 7 fell right from the roof. If you ain't aware of that, then you must be aloof. It's obvious to the elders as well as the youth. To track down the killers, you ain't gotta be a sleuth. 9/11 gave the oligarch a big boost. Inside job, anything else is uncouth. Why else would they try to muzzle people like they did the Sybil? Elementary puzzle, not a complicated riddle. Let's get to the meat of the matter, don't try to nibble. Once you bite into the steak, you forsake the sizzle. You will be going to jail with no bail in a little. Your new world order will fail cause it's frail in the middle. The truth will always prevail. I can never tell a tale for real, cause all that would be uncivil. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, we'll never go, never go away. Not until everybody knows the deal. Isn't that right, dear? We will be right here. No matter what you do, 9/11 truth. No matter what you say, 9/11 truth. We'll never go. 9/11 truth. Never go away. We are 9/11 truth. Not until everybody knows the deal. Isn't that right, dear? We will be right here. We are 9/11 truth. No matter what you do, 9/11 truth. No matter what you say, 9/11 truth. We'll never go. 9/11 truth. Never go away. We are 9/11 truth. Not until everybody knows the deal. Isn't that right, dear? We will be right here. We are 9/11 truth.
So the preconceived notion of NIST is that there's no evidence for explosives, and so there's no point in looking. That is the most unscientific thing that you can possibly think of, not to look because you don't expect to find evidence, and in fact the evidence is overwhelming. They state these conclusions for which there's virtually no evidence, and then they ignore conclusions that can be drawn from the evidence. You can't do science when you are deprived of the evidence and when your hypothesis is the least valid instead of the most likely. When the most likely hypothesis in the case of Building 7 wasn't even mentioned. This is not science.
It took some kind of consciousness raising on my part before I was willing to look at the possibilities. And really, you need to go where the evidence leads.
We will never heal. This country will never, ever, ever forget that day. We have to demand a new investigation. I want justice here.
The country owns this. We were all victims. You all should want answers. It's not just ours, not just mine. We all lost something that day.
Right.
Well, what you have to ask is who had access to the buildings? Did al-Qaeda have access to these highly secure buildings? Probably not. Did they have access to sophisticated nanothermite, where the particles are 1,000 times smaller than a human hair? Probably not. Somebody else has to be investigated, and that's why we have 700 architects and engineers demanding a real investigation. We don't have the whole theory as to how this happened, who did it, why. We just lay out the facts like we did last night in the Veterans Memorial Auditorium, and we demand a real investigation, and they'll find out who, why, how, etc.
Okay. Then let me ask you, I'm person X. I want to place something in one of those buildings. Where would I carry it? How big would it be? Is it that visible that I would be spotted by security? Or could I place it in one of my tooth fillings?
Yeah. We're talking about several tons of nanothermite and ordinary thermite. One would have to have access through security. So the security company involved for the World Trade Center should be thoroughly investigated. And it turns out to be Securicom, Stratosec. Somebody should look and see who's on the board of those companies. Some very interesting individuals turn out to be. In addition, one would have to have the cover of, say, an elevator modernization, which was, in fact, going on 9 months prior to 9/11, so that there were workers throughout the World Trade Center that had access to the hoistway, which is immediately adjacent to the core columns and beams in the building.
You're not trying to freak out the country, but you can't help but feel a little freaked out by this.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Yeah. And, of course, this is something we want to talk with you about a whole lot more, and we're out of time. But we do have a great deal of information on our website, kmph.com. Thank you very much for your time today.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for
opening up a lot to think about. We'll be right back.